Is homeschooling compatible with, better than traditional schooling? Which approach is ideal for pupils who must learn to read, write, count, and learn? Is it a traditional or a homeschooling approach? Would you rather go to a standard school or homeschool your children? Many students in social media are calling for the restoration of face to face classes due to insufficient learning. This shows that many children choose traditional schooling and learning as a form of instruction. Traditional learning or education takes place in a classroom setting. There is an instructor who moderates and regulates the flow of information and knowledge. Then, the instructor expects the learners to deepen their knowledge through written exercises at home. Caroline 2021. While homeschooling, often known as parent led home based education, is an age old traditional educational system that was formerly considered cutting edge and alternative, but is now considered mainstream in the United States. Ray B. 2021. In the simplest terms, it is simply schooling your children at home. Traditional schooling is better than homeschooling. Children should choose traditional schooling instead of homeschooling as a form of education due to its impact on child's education and overall well-being. Traditional schooling teaches children formal education. Teachers are experts in educating students in the classroom. They have a bachelor's degree and many have a master's degree. Students in school can contact with teachers at any time with questions or concerns, and they will receive a prompt response and clear instructions. Teachers design lesson plans as well as relevant activities for students to participate in, allowing them to tap into their students' creativity, abilities, and skills. The University of the People states that teachers provide the power of education. All things can be attained in life are built on the foundation of knowledge and education. Teachers give today's youngsters the power of education, offering them the opportunity for a better future. University of the People. Barrington, a talented freelance writer with more than 10 years of experience and an expert in the field of education, marks that the goal of a traditional education is to teach children the skills and enable them to use and apply them through meaningful, needed interactions with their peers and teachers. Homeschooled children may thus become subject for discrimination due to a lack of appreciation for other cultures and ethnicity. Barrington K. 2019. Many teachers also fear that good home education by uncredentialed parents contradicts the teacher's expertise and jeopardizes their jobs. This raises concerns about children being educated by parents who are uneducated. Barrington K. 2019. Traditional schooling enhances children's personal development. Students interact with a wide range of people, allowing them to become more interested in numerous aspects of society while also fostering personal development. The school is crucial in teaching pupils how to connect positively with their classmates and teachers. Inside the facility, they learn how to have good relationship skills. Traditional schooling improves a person's self esteem and confidence. They also learn how to work cooperatively with others, such as classmates, teachers, friends, schoolmates, and peers, which helps to shape their character and personality. The University of Potomac notices that one of the top reasons that traditional campus life can aid a student's college life is having contact with professors and instructors. On campus, students can set up face to face meetings with their professors to discuss the class, their performance, or a project. Potomac IT 2020. Julie Alice Huson notes that because all children are educated in regular public schools, a diverse population promotes students to develop tolerant and accepting attitudes, while online schools and homeschooling have the ability to provide high quality instruction. They may not provide opportunities for children to learn in a group setting. Huson J. 2021. Homeschooling opponents argue that households are isolating places that do not provide adequate socializing. Youngsters who are homeschooled are not exposed to group dynamics or peer pressure, which are required for children to develop coping skills. If youngsters are only allowed to engage with their classmates at home, children will not learn how to do so effectively because of inexperienced. Encountering such situations will be hard to deal with. Thus, students will not be adequately prepared to enter the real world. Barrington K. 2019. Traditional schooling is more realistic than homeschooling. Homeschooling restricts a child's learning abilities because the child learns only at home and does not get to encounter the real world, or the youngster does not put forth the effort that traditional learning requires. In terms of performing responsibilities, having fun, and socializing, homeschooling is a less authentic experience. In addition, kids learn numerous characteristics of independence in society and community. For example, how to get from home to school, cross highways, and how to be self sufficient in the classroom. The child will mature into a better person as a result. The studies service learning, personal development, and social commitment. A case study of University of Hong Kong using survey data collected from 93 university student participants in the program illustrates the impact of service learning on student outcomes. Results show that the majority of the students benefited is by developing personal autonomy through real-world experiences. Students develop a recognition of and faith in their potential. It improves self-assurance, acceptance of new responsibilities, and the attainment of personal growth. In addition, students becoming more responsible citizens and agents of social change. They are assuming significant responsibilities and responding challenges in ways that have a long-term influence on their own lives by learning to care for groups in the society. Ngai S. 161, 2006. The study of Green Hennessy homeschooled adolescents in the United States development outcomes that examines how U.S. homeschoolers fare on these outcomes given their lack of access to the school services. Controlling for demographic differences, homeschoolers with weaker religious ties were 3 times more likely than their traditionally schooled counterparts to report being behind in their expected grade level and 2.5 times more likely to report no extracurricular activities in the previous year. Green Hennessy S. 2014. A public school instills a youngsters a sense of self-reliance. Children must keep track of their own class schedules, find their way from one class to another, buy their own lunch, and make it from the bus every day. Barrington K. 2019. Research facts on homeschooling shows that there were an estimated 2.4 million home-educated students in grades K-12 during the spring of 2010 in the United States. It appears that homeschooling population is continuing to grow over the past few years. Home-based education has also growing around the world in many nations. Examples: Australia, Canada, France, Hungary, Japan, Kenya, Mexico, South Korea, Thailand, and the United Kingdom. The common reason why some prefer homeschooling is to provide a safer environment for children because of physical violence, drugs and alcohol abuse, racism associated with institutional schools. Raby 2015. However, homeschooled children are not prepared for life in the real world. Children who have been homeschooled are not prepared to face judgment, critiques, and social issues in the real world. Therefore, they may find it challenging to adapt to life in the real world. Furthermore, one of the most significant disadvantages of homeschooling is that the parent must devote 100% of their attention to the children. A single parent may not be able to go to work unless they can afford a full-time tutor, making homeschooling extremely difficult for them to execute. The National Longitudinal Study of Adolescent Health, known as the AdHealth Study, found that young people who feel connected to school have better mental health and are less likely to engage in risky behaviors, including the use of alcohol and illegal drugs. early sexual activity and violence. Blum, Reinhardt and Mann, 1997. Homeschooled children learn eagerly from home. However, they are physically inactive. From the study homeschool student physical activity compared to public and private school students, the 2017 U.S. National Household Travel Survey that estimated the national prevalence of PA levels of homeschool students compared to public and private school students. The study used the 2017 National Household Travel Survey for school-aged participants. Results show that unadjusted analysis found higher prevalence of physical inactivity for homeschool students compared to public and private school students. Results were comparable for covariate adjusted analysis. Conclusion: a higher percentage of homeschool students report being physically inactive compared to public and private school students. Tribis CP and Beregan D. 2021. Traditional schooling is compatible with better than homeschooling, as states that it has the formal education, development of the child and more realistic. Choose traditional schooling and let children to explore and grow with awareness in their minds in order to learn and adapt to real life situations. The questions why traditional schooling is better than homeschooling has been answered with claims and backed up with strong and valid evidences. Note the statement of American philosopher, psychologist, and educational reformer John Dewey: a school is primarily a social institution. I believe that all education proceeds with the participation of the individual in social consciousness of the race. I believe that only true education comes through the stimulation of the child's powers by the demands of the social institutions in which he finds himself.
Hold me close till I get out.